Okay, hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new Class 66 Rocks locomotive review. Now in this review we're taking a look at a Hornby locomotive. Now this particular locomotive is actually named after a place that I've visited on holiday. So it's got a sandy beach, it's a small town, but it is a really nice place to visit. So without further ado, let's have a look at what we've got today then. So today, as we can see, we've got a Hornby locomotive, and it is a Lakecrest BR West Country class. The name is Bude, and it is locomotive number 34006. So as you can see, it's a steam locomotive, as we've got a little image of a lion on top of the box just there. But as you can see, it's a Lakecrest locomotive. It's a West Country, so as you can see, the West Countries were named after towns. So let's take a look at the side of the box first, and then we'll take a look at the locomotive that's inside. So as we can see, it's produced by Hornby Hobbies, which is now at a place called Sandwich. I'm not too sure where that is actually, but if you do know, please leave your comments below. I'm not too sure, is it still at Margate? I might be totally wrong, it might have moved from there, but like I say, if you do know, please leave your comments below. So moving across the bottom of the box, so as you can see, it's DCC Ready. It is item number R3310, and as you can see, we've got another description there which says Late BR West Country Class Bude 34006. As you can see on the front of the box, we've got an image of the locomotive itself, the Hornby logo, the minimum radius required to run, which is 438mm. So if you just take a look at the side now, so obviously it has the same information as the bottom of the box as well, and a bit from the front. But obviously we can see it's a double O gauge locomotive. So if we just take a look at the back of the box, we can see we have a bit of information about the West Country class, which is known as the 7P6F. So I'll just let you read some of that for a moment. I'll just bring it in a bit further. So I'm just scrolling up on each of the sections. Okay, so also on the back of the box, it says do not scale. We have a drawn diagram of the West Country class locomotive, obviously before it went into production. So as you can see, it was designed by Hornby Hobbies Margate Works in 2001. So okay, let's take a look at the locomotive that's inside then. So as you can see, first off, it's got a card sleeve over the actual box, as you can see just there. So we'll just place that out of view just for a moment. Okay, so moving back to the locomotive. As you can see, it's presented in the block of ice or ice cube packaging, whichever you wish to call it, with Hornby's red style box. So we'll just take this out of here and see what else is in the box first. Okay, so looking at the first accessory that we've got the detailing pack for the West Country class, as you can see. So we have got quite a lot of detailing in there, but we will be fitting this to the locomotive once we get it ready for running on the new layout. An update will be coming shortly on the new layout, as we've done quite a lot of work on it, so look out for that. I think we've got some Headco discs in here as well, so we'll keep hold of that. So the second thing that we've got, if we just move the box out of the way just there, is the West Country Battle of Britain class locomotive operating instructions, well, operating and maintenance should I say. So this just gives you a bit of general information, including information about lubrication, assembly, how to remove the locomotive body, and also how to fit a sound chip or a DCC chip if the locomotive requires it, in which case it needs a 8-pin DCC decoder. So we will keep hold of these instructions for further reference. So I'll just put them out of the way. Okay, so let's get on with the locomotive itself then. So as you can see, as mentioned previously, it comes packaged in the block of ice or ice cube packaging, whichever you wish to call it. So we'll just take this off here like so. So as you can see, it's very well packaged actually. It's actually keeping this locomotive really secure. So let's just take the plastic flap off here and open it up. Now, one thing that this packaging has got, I don't know whether you can see that. Well, what I'll do, I'll take the locomotive out and then I'm going to show you separately. So we'll just take the loco and the tender out. It is actually coupled up. So I'll just place that down there just for a moment and we'll move all these bits of plastic out of the way. So one thing that I've noticed with this packaging is that we've got this double-sided tape, this black, like a rubbery insert, to keep certain parts of the locomotive from getting damaged during transit and whilst it's packaged. So it is actually quite a good idea, and it's the first time I've ever actually seen it packaged like this. So that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so let's get on with the locomotive itself then. So I'll just very carefully pick the loco up and we shall bring it into view. Now this particular locomotive, I don't think I'll be able to disconnect the tender from the locomotive itself because it's a new style of coupling which we'll take a look at in a moment. So let's start with the front of the loco. So I'll just very carefully bring it in. So as you can see on the front of the locomotive, we have the locomotive number, which is 34006. Now I'm unable to zoom in on the shed code plate, but I can just, is that 70 or maybe 20A? Or it could even be 78, 79. But if you do know what the shed code plate is for this locomotive, please leave your comments below. Apologies, I just had to move the camcorder away there. Just a bit of bad focus. Like I say, it's just because obviously I'm holding the tender and the locomotive at the same time, so I can't use the zoom on the camcorder at the minute. So moving down, you can see we've got some warning panels on the left and right hand sides. We've also got sprung loaded round buffers, which is an excellent feature. So as you can see, turning the loco to the side now, we've got 4 wheels on the front bogie, as you can see. Now these are actually slab-sided locomotives, and there were some Battle of Britons like this as well. I think some are rebuilt and some are unrebuilt, so I've heard. So some obviously had the casing left on and some had the casing taken off. So taking a look at the side of the locomotive, as you can see, you can sort of see the rivets where the body's been riveted together. If I just run my thumb on some of them, but you can't really tell unless you bring it right into the camcorder. So as you can see on the side, there's 2 orange and black lines running the length of the locomotive, one at the top above the name plate and one below. Apologies about the noise outside, it's the road sweeper going past, so I'm just going to carry on with the review and pretend it's not there. So as you can see, this locomotive is named Bude and it is a West Country class. If I just bring it right in to the camcorder so you can see the badge just there. So if we just take it out so it doesn't blur again. So taking a look at the wheel set, So as you can see, a lot of detail has gone into these locomotives, and we always do a good job, to be fair, on all the steam range that they do, obviously including the Battle of Britain and the West Countries, etc., and the merchant navies even. But as you can see, we've got a speedo cable just there, and you have to be very careful, obviously when you're taking the body off, that you don't damage any of these rods, because I know when we used to hardwire our merchant navies, sometimes these rods got bent, and when we tried to run it again, it caused all sorts of problems. So we had to level the rod out so it would run properly again. So moving along now, so as you can see, we've got the cab just here. So I'll just turn the locomotive so you can see inside, but that is really well detailed inside there. It's absolutely outstanding, the amount of detail that's gone into it. I mean, you've even got all the dials, the firebox door rather, and the gauges, etc. So also on this side you can see we've got the steam pipes just there, and we've also got the locomotive number 34006, as well as the description above, which is 7P 5FA. Okay, so the road sweeper is just slowly going past the house now, so he will be gone in a minute. So let's move along to the back of the loco. So as you can see, it's got the Hornby, not the Hornby, the British Railways Lake Crest logo, as you can see just there. Feeling at the tender itself, it is actually really quite lightweight. We've got 6 wheels on the tender, 3 either side, and we've also got a fake coal load on the top just there. So we'll move around to the back in just a moment, but before we do, I'll just show you this coupling under here. So this is the plug type coupling that connects the main half of the loco to the tender. It's got the white plug that plugs in there, as well as the lead, and as you can see, in order to separate them, we'd have to undo those 2 screws just there and remove that small little bracket that's connecting them together. So let's move around to the back of the loco now. So on the back of the tender, as you can see, we've got some warning panels at the top just there, and we've also got some steps leading up to the tender. We've got sprung loaded buffers on the left and right hand sides, as you can see, and we also have an NEM coupling pocket, which we will be leaving on, as this loco is going to be going on passenger service duty or freight duty. We haven't decided yet, but I'm sure this will be on passenger. So I'll just now turn the loco around to the other side. Like I say, with them being connected up, you have to try and balance it with 2 hands, so using the zoom is out of the question for this review, unfortunately. So as you can see on the other side, again, we've got the British Railways Lake Crest logo just there, as well as an orange and black surround, which was featured on the other side as well. Moving across to the loco itself, so as you can see again, we've got the locomotive number, and it is a 7P5FA. Like I say, it just keeps blurring up slightly, so I'm just having to tilt it away from the camera. Moving across, you can see we've got the steam pipes on the bottom of the locomotive just there. Moving along now, again you can see we've got the Bude nameplate and the West Country class badge or logo, whichever you wish to call it, just there. So we'll just take that away from the camera slowly. Again, we've got some really high levels of detailing on the wheel sets, and these are a true likeness to the real life West Countries. So Hornby, like I said, they do a fantastic job with the locomotives in any case, so you can't fault them. So moving to the roof area now, so as you can see, we've got the funnel on the top just there. Moving across, we've got the whistle. Now you can see sort of small rivets where the loco's been riveted, but it's not like other locomotives where you can run your hand and it makes like a grating effect when you're running your finger across. But like I say, it's not a major detriment. I'm really happy with this locomotive in any case, so there's nothing that's not going to affect the performance of it, or that's been badly designed or anything like that. So that is it basically. The Hornby West Country class Bude in British Railways green with Lake Crest logo.